All right, I think we are recording. Happy Saturday. Hope y'all are having a great start to the morning. I know I am. Well, this is basically pajamas for me. Got my coffee, got my water, and I am ready to teach this. So I'm actually going to go full blown into this. I'm not going to have any like chit chatter in the beginning. I think most everyone is going to be watching this replay back. So let's get to it, shall we? So this is going to be Summer Series Part 2. If you were able to join me for Part 1, first off, thank you so much. Hope you got some great information out of that. I know several of you messaged me afterwards and just took a bunch of notes and had a bunch of great takeaways. So hoping this class is going to do the same. And so we're going to be talking about stress and hormones specifically. And we'll get into a little bit about what that's going to entail and a book that I've been reading that I'm actually taking this information from. And then we're going to be talking about specific oils for stress relief and hormone support. I'll be giving you some diffuser blends, some rollerball blends at the end. You can go ahead and start to get creative and mix and match and find what works for you, and then that'll be it. So let's, like I said, go ahead and get to it. If my computer will work. Let me get a tap. There we go. So just to recap Part 1, if you weren't there for Part 1, don't worry. I wanted this series to be buildable, but not dependent on each other. So if you missed Part 1, totally fine. You can still jump in with Part 2 today. Or maybe you were there for Part 1, but you just don't remember because that was a month ago. So Part 1 recap. Talked about the 3 different types of stress, the acute stress, short-term, long-term, even perceived stress, things like that. Talked about both the physical and mental effects that stress has on our bodies. We talked about the fight, flight, and I added the freeze response because that's what I typically tend to do when I get stressed. I just kind of don't move, and I don't move forward, backward, sideways, or anything. Again, perceived stress, even if there's something that is not life or death, but if you perceive it to be, maybe it's a text message that you're nervous about or a phone call that you're anticipating. Perceived stress, that's definitely a thing. And oxidative stress within the body itself. And then, of course, we wrapped up with how essential oils can help interrupt that stress response, help the body have a healthy stress response, because stress is not bad. It's just when our bodies cannot cope with it and return to normal that we have the problems. So that was Part 1. And what we're going to be talking about with Part 2, so you may see some familiar terms, topics, and ideas from Part 1, but we're also going to be connecting, again, stress and hormones and what that's like. We're going to be talking about specific stress hormones within the body, how stress affects those, what kind of symptoms and issues within the body that we see from that. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about the essential oils, how they can calm our stress, the most beneficial essential oils for stress, how to get them in your home if you are not a part of the Terra. And if you are, really, I'm going to be talking about the 2 different ways of ordering, kind of switching up the end of my class this time. So it's going to be great. Get ready. Now, I did want to talk, so like I mentioned, there is a book that I've been reading and really that I am taking all of this information from, and it is The Essential Oils Hormone Solutions by Dr. Marisa Snyder. Dr. Snyder is, she spoke at convention this last September all about supporting hormones naturally using essential oils and other lifestyle changes. This is the fruit of that. This is her book. You can get it on Amazon. I think last time I saw it was like $17 to $20, maybe. Don't quote me on that. But it's such good information. There's a chapter in here about stress specifically. So this is where all of this information is taken from. I will reference this book at the end as well. So if this is a topic that you need more support with, that you want to delve deeper into, this book is where it's at. I love Dr. Marisa Snyder. She also has a podcast called Essentially You that I love to listen to. All kinds of different topics and speakers as well. But The Essential Oils Hormone Solutions book is fantastic. Definitely recommend. So I want you to kind of think about these questions up here. Have you struggled with your hormones and can't figure them out? Maybe this has been an ongoing issue for you for months, maybe even years. Do you find yourself not feeling like yourself, but you just can't put your finger on it? Something is off, but you're just not sure what it is. Maybe you have really severe PMS symptoms. Maybe you're completely exhausted. You get migraines, all the time. Maybe you have trouble falling asleep, but then you're dragging yourself out of bed in the morning. And I love this last question. Do you ever find yourself racing from one thing to the next, even though you are not running late? That's me. There are tons of other questions, with this too. Are you gaining weight? And again, you're not sure why. Maybe you're eating the right things for the most part. Maybe you're exercising, you're physically active, but something is not clicking. And really what I want to break down for us today is this belief, and I think as women, we tend to take this on, is this thought that I am fueled by stress. Don't we believe this? We feel in order to be successful or like we're accomplishing something, we have to be going and going and going. And just honestly, that feeling of consistent stress and anxiousness, we just get used to it and we just deal with it. And really, that's not how our lives are supposed to be run, And in truth, it does not fuel our bodies. In fact, it slowly chips away at our health just a little bit at a time until we start to see these manifestations years and decades down the road. And so we really need to, one, stop believing that we are not fueled by stress. You are not fueled by stress. And really start to pay attention to the symptoms that we're going to be talking about. The symptoms we normally associate with stress are how our bodies are trying to tell us that something is wrong. Something is not working. It's off, right? So we, as stewards of our own bodies that are God-given, we have got to take initiative and pay attention to that. So I just kind of want you to look at this image for, about 30 seconds, maybe a minute or so. Maybe you resonate with one or more of these. We got the guy, something is obviously stressful at work. Maybe, what I bet just happened? He probably just had been working on a presentation and he didn't save it and he lost it. I bet that's his problem. Then you've got kids at school, my daughter is not school age, but I hear that, homework time is a big issue. Kids are getting more homework at younger ages. Maybe you're on your phone all the time. You've got some family dynamics going. Maybe there's a lot of yelling in your home. Maybe there's some dysfunction. Maybe you're just a brand new mom, or you've got multiple kids and you're just trying to stay alive. You know what I mean? We have just gotten into this state of chronic stress, and it's really kind of a culmination of our modern lifestyle, but we do still have control over that. So one of the things that Dr. Marisa Snyder mentions in her book is something called the HPA axis. Now, if you have ever tried to tackle your hormones before, whether it's lifestyle choices, I don't know, maybe it's medications, whatever it has been and it hasn't worked, it might be because you have not addressed this interconnection. The HPA axis includes your hypothalamus, which is what sends your messages all over to your body, maintains your sleep cycles, your energy levels, your weight, libido, your moods, blood pressure, all the things, literally. It also includes your pituitary glands and your adrenal glands. So these are, going to be your hormone producers. Regulating blood sugars, metabolism, energy storage, your immune system, even your kidneys and reproductive system. Basically, this HPA axis, its main function is to help keep the body even, on an even keel, just keeping it steady, state of homeostasis, if you're familiar with that word. So Dr. Marisa Snyder really goes in depth, way more in depth than I am about this. So if you've ever tried to address your hormones and it hasn't worked, it might be because this connection has still been disconnected. And so What she also refers to in here is like the clutch the pearls moment. You know, when, and I know that you're going to know what I'm talking about. These are moments where, like, oh my gosh, I forgot to let the dog outside, or I left my keys at work, or something like that. But literally these like moments where you're like clutching your pearls that you're not wearing. You know what I mean? And so instead of stress management, what is happening when we continually have these moments? Our hypothalamus becomes overwhelmed with, there's this word, perceived stress. So again, maybe it's a text message, maybe it's a phone call, maybe it's something so small that honestly is not life and death, but it is still stressful. It leads to temporary shutdowns within the body. And so that's kind of terrifying to think about, right? Like, so let's talk about how does this translate into symptoms? What is actually shutting down in these moments? And I'm not going to go over all of these. You can definitely read these. But we have, decreased metabolic function, trigger starvation mode, to save energy. So this is where we have issues with weight gain. We have issues with metabolism and energy storage, right? Let's see what else happens. So the pseudo-famine, these situations cause us to have midnight binges. We crave carbs and sugar. That sugar overloads the body, causes inflammation within the body all over the place, possibly leading to cramping, to digestive issues, to headaches, acne, things like that. Our reproduction is put on hold for survival. I have here #fertility issues. That is a much more common thing for women my age. I mean, I'm sure the age range is probably like, I don't know, 25 to 40. I don't really know. But women now have more fertility issues, I think, than ever before. And it's because of a lot of these things that are happening. So we are actually going to be talking about, you need to go find daddy, please. Okay. You need to go find daddy and let him help you find Mama. Please, Mama's teaching her class. Please listen. We're going to continue. So the hormones for stress, we are going to go over these very quickly. I don't expect you to remember all of these, and I'm not going to go over again everything that is on the slide, but some of the main stress hormones, we've got adrenaline and cortisol. These kind of work in tandem with each other. So the cortisol is actually supposed to fluctuate. We are always going to handle stress or go through stress. And so what is going to happen when we encounter stress? Adrenaline is released from the body. Cortisol is released to provide energy to match that adrenaline. Here's the thing, though. The adrenal glands can't distinguish what is life or death. They can't distinguish whether, you almost got in a car accident to, oh, that phone call was a little bit stressful and didn't go how I wanted it to. It's going to release cortisol no matter what. So here's the thing. When we have chronic stress, the adrenal glands are constantly active. They're constantly triggering cortisol, so you have this excess. What this turns into, we feel overwhelmed. We have that tired but wired feeling. We have skin issues. We have acne. We have insomnia, mood swings, weight gain. We're sick a lot. Again, when chronic stress affects our immune system as a whole. So if you find yourself getting sick a lot, take a look at the stress that's in your life and see what's going on. That might be an underlying issue for you. And then we have the T3 and T4 hormones. These are related to thyroid function. And so when we experience stress, basically this is one of the temporary shutdowns that we see. Our body decreases thyroid function, and it's suppressed constantly all the time. This leads to metabolism issues. So again, we have weight gain, we have energy issues. This also can affect blood sugar balance as well within the body. And if these are left unchecked, if you are not addressing this and letting it go on, then we have some possible hypothyroid symptoms. So that's a big deal, right? I think a lot of women are having more and more thyroid issues. Again, in her book, she really goes in depth with these stress hormones. So this is just kind of like a brief touch on these. And then we have insulin. So again, we're really talking about blood sugar balances. Again, when we have chronic stress, we are craving sugar and we are craving carbs. Carbs turn to sugar, And then our body is having to release a lot more insulin to handle that. Especially when we're in fight or flight or freeze mode, the liver produces more glucose to give you energy. That is the body's form of sugar and energy. Typically what is supposed to happen, what glucose does not get used in that period, the body is supposed to reabsorb, but when we have a ton floating around in the body, it can't. So insulin is released to help with that reabsorption. And when we have chronic stress, we have a lot of insulin spikes. Yes? And again, studies show that insulin spikes over time can increase the destruction of the thyroid gland. So again, this is probably not something you're going to really notice or really have issues with until years and decades down the road. And then, of course, we have estrogen and progesterone. These are the ones that we're more familiar with. These actually counteract and balance each other out, very much like adrenaline and cortisol a little bit. But when we have excessive amounts, that's where we tend to see a problem. Now, what usually happens is when we have some chronic stress, our body produces less progesterone, so we have this excess of estrogen. And typically, this is where we're seeing a lot of issues. It can lead to, anovulation, where you're not ovulating, your body's not releasing an egg, or missed periods altogether. You may have, worse PMS symptoms, more cramping, more pain, things like that. And then, of course, when you add menopause to the mix, where hormones are really starting to go crazy, along with this chronic stress cycle, you've got even more symptoms to deal with. So a lot goes into this, and I really just want you to take away, the main takeaway is to just understand that stress affects these individual hormones, and in turn, give you some of the common issues that we deal with when we have hormonal imbalances. So switching over to essential oils, before I talk about what they can do, I want to address what they can't do. Essential oils are not hormones. They cannot become hormones. They cannot produce hormones, and they don't replace them. That is not the point of essential oils. So essential oils actually, what they do, they support our bodies in healing themselves. Take a drink of coffee there. They essentially treat hormones without using hormones. Our bodies are so smart, and they are really able to heal themselves and bring ourselves back into balance. But again, when we have chronic stress and all these lifestyle factors going on, it can be really hard and overwhelming for the body to do that. Essential oils essentially partner with your body's systems that are already there and help them function that much better and actually do what they're supposed to do. And again, the end game, really to get our hormone balancing systems back into balance. That is the point. And in Dr. Marisa Snyder's book, I have a quote here: scientific studies continue to support essential oil science in making new breakthroughs and in discovering the power of how the oil's constituents influence the body. So research is supporting what these oils are doing. But again, you've got to remember, not all oils are created equal. Again, 80 to 85% of the oils on the market are adulterated. A lot of outside companies have started to do their own testing outside of doTERRA, and whenever they do that, doTERRA always comes out on top with that purity and that standard. They're the only ones that follow that CPTG standard, and most of the research supports doTERRA's oils, right? Again, doTERRA has such great sourcing standards and processes and are so transparent with what's in their essential oil bottles. It's one thing for an oil to smell good. Of course, we want the oil to smell good, but we also want those actual therapeutic compounds. And doTERRA, time and time and again, consistently has those. So we know that doTERRA's oils will do what they are supposed to do. They will work, they are clean, and they are for our bodies. And it's also not just about oils and stress. I am not naive enough or silly enough to believe that, if I start using oils, then all my stress will go away and my body will work and function. that's only part of it. And this is also what Dr. Marisa Snyder talks about in her book, the 5 lifestyle pillars. Of course, we've got nutrition, we've got exercise, stress, which is what we're focusing on today, reducing toxins in the home, and then self-care rituals is at the bottom. Excuse me. Essential oils can help with all of those areas. You can kind of see that here. And we are really talking about stress. So studies are showing that just inhaling oils, so not even using them topically, but just inhaling from the bottle, can actually calm the mind and relax the body. And we're going to talk about that. So some best ways to use them, you are probably familiar with the 3 ways to use oils: aromatically, topically, and internally. Aromatically is going to be the fastest way to change your mood, to influence the limbic system, influence your emotions, that stress response. That is the fastest way. When you are, and that could be with a diffuser, that could be with a cupping method, literally just opening the bottle and smelling the cap like I just did. So that's going to be the fastest way. Next way is topical. You can still get great use with using oils topically, and that is actually going to allow you to support specific areas and organs within the body. So topically, just a couple of notes here. Some of the common places you're going to want to actually apply over your thyroid. So right towards the bottom of your neck right here, bottoms of your feet. That is going to be the quickest way to get that into your bloodstream, start to circulate all throughout the body. Probably heard me say that too. You're going to want to apply over the abdomen, really just over your reproductive area, inside of the ankle bone as well, and pulse points. So like your wrists, your ears, or behind your ears, not in your ears, behind your ears, over your heart. These areas are going to be also great areas to get that oil absorbed into the bloodstream and get to where they need to work. You would also want to consider diluting with a carrier oil. I love doTERRA's fractionated coconut oil. Stays in liquid form, so it's very easy to use. But when you are combining coconut oil to an essential oil, it is helping it to not flash off the skin, but just sink deeper into the skin, which is what you're wanting. It's also going to help that oil's effects last a little bit longer because it's absorbing a little bit slower, if that makes sense. You can also still take some of these oils internally, but really, when you're talking about hormonal support, aromatic and topical is the best way to go about that. And again, just a recap. So what is happening when you are simply inhaling the oil? Because you probably wouldn't think that just smelling it is going to be doing a whole lot of good. But again, what is happening? So you inhale an oil, fragrance enters through your nasal passage into your nasal cavity, and within 20 seconds, it is interacting with the limbic system of the brain, chemical reactions occurring, and hormones are getting released. So it is going through the hypothalamus, the pituitary glands, the adrenal glands, that HPA axis, right? It happens so quick, and you know, it is so subtle. This is something that you cognitively don't have to think about. It just happens, right? The more that you use these essential oils, the more consistent you are, and intentional you are, the more that your body is going to be able to respond and actually function how it's supposed to. So hopefully that's helpful, just to kind of get that little recap. I think we talked about that from part 1. But now I'm going to actually go through the preferred essential oils for stress. Again, Dr. Marisa Snyder goes through these more in depth in this book. So we're going to talk about some essential oils and also some supplements, because supplementing is important. More and more studies are showing that lifestyle change isn't always enough. The food that we're eating is not enough. Supplementing has to happen as well to give us that overall optimal well-being and health, right? So first off, going to be talking about bergamot. This is actually one of my newer favorites. It was on my wish list for a very long time. But when we're talking about hormones and stress, Bergamot has the ability to dissolve anxious feelings while also uplifting your emotions. So it's kind of a twofold. It's bringing the anxiety down, boosting that mood at the same time. You may hear my daughter in the background. That's totally fine. So in turn, that's going to lower your stress levels. And bergamot is actually known as the oil of confidence. So how I like to use this, add 1 drop to your palms. Inhale deeply. That's actually what I did just before this class, just to give me that boost of confidence this morning. You can use this as a massage oil with a carrier oil. You can diffuse this with maybe frankincense and peppermint. Even just diffuse it by itself when you're going through a stressful time. Maybe you've got a deadline at work or just some life changes happening where stress is prevalent. Bergamot is fantastic. Next is cedar wood. So cedar wood is from the tree family. So you know, how many of you have ever been in nature, whether you're just taking a walk outside, maybe you're actually taking a hike, or you're at a state park, or I don't know. But isn't it so calming when you are out in nature? You're surrounded by trees and the light and the sound, right? It's so grounding. You actually get that in a bottle with cedar wood. So cedar wood soothes and grounds the mind and body. It aids in emotional balance and overall wellness. And again, it provides this state of calm and confidence as well. I love to diffuse this. You can combine it with a citrus oil or with lavender. Cedar wood and lavender would be great to try at night. You can massage with a carrier oil to your chest during workouts or when you're having your meditation or prayer time. Really great for that. You would massage this into your pulse points when you're really stressed out. Maybe it's almost in your panic mode. So again, your wrist, over your heart, behind the ears, things like that. Fun fact, I actually like to add a drop to my moisturizer because it helps with oil control. And I'm also breathing in that cedar wood right before bed, so it helps me to calm down that way as well. So next is frankincense. We tend to see this more for like skin issues, healing, things like that. But it has, again, it's from a tree. So it has, again, that grounding, that relaxing property too. It also supports, again, the bodily system. So when you're talking about the limbic system, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, that HPA axis, it's actually going to help that function how it's supposed to. Great for focus and meditation. I love to diffuse this. Again, you can add this to your moisturizer, rub into your palms, inhale deeply, apply to the bottoms of your feet just to get that circulating all throughout the body. You could also make this really fun DIY room refresher spray and spritz around in your house as well. So lavender, this is probably, again, one of the most well-known, but it really does have an incredible effect on stress and our hormones in turn. So this is, of course, going to soothe the mind and soothe the body. Great for a restful night's sleep. So if you are one of those that's having trouble falling asleep, maybe maybe you wake up a couple times during the night. Maybe you just can't go to bed because your mind chatter is constantly going. Try lavender. Also great for muscle tension and headaches. When we're stressed, we tend to do this, right? We've got this neck and shoulder tension. Add some lavender, even add some frankincense to that. Layer those two over that area and soothe that muscle tension and those headaches that you might be getting because of that. A couple things you can do with this. You can add to an Epsom salt bath. You can add a couple drops to your pillows, to your bedding before nighttime, so you're literally laying in like this blanket of lavender. Diffusing 3 to 4 drops about 30 minutes before bed, so great to maybe do in the bathroom. You know, start to wash your face. Maybe you're going to be taking a shower or a bath. I don't know, just that bedtime routine. Diffuse that beforehand. You don't have to wait until you're actually in the bed to start diffusing lavender. Wild orange is also maybe a surprising one. So a lot of times when we're stressed, we feel pretty run down, right? Emotionally, physically, we just can't get the energy together. Reach for your wild orange. Not only is this going to help uplift you and energize you, it's going to ease digestive discomfort when taken internally. It also helps to purify and stimulate the body systems, especially the immune system. And there are more and more studies that are showing the effects of wild orange on really severe anxiety and depression. So even just diffusing wild orange is great. Definitely recommend 1 drop in a palm. You can add peppermint and or frankincense to that. Inhale deeply. Apply that same blend to the back of your neck. You can also just simply inhale wild orange, maybe as you recite your positive affirmations out loud. If that is something that you are not familiar with or you're not actively doing, I highly encourage you to do that. It makes such a difference. Next is ylang ylang. This is a really great one. It's a floral oil, so you're going to get a lot of hormonal support specifically with this. Going to definitely lift your mood while also having a calming effect as well. What is so great about ylang ylang? It actually has the ability to lower your heart rate and again provide that overall sense of relaxation. So we get a little mix of the cardiovascular system when we're using ylang ylang. Also improves the symptoms of depression, mood swings due to hormonal imbalances. So this is a great one to use daily or just around your time of the month. Maybe you're going through that menopausal transition in life. Great to use ylang ylang. How I would use this, great to use in a bath. Add some Epsom salts, some ylang ylang, lavender would be great to mix with that. You could add in the cedar wood too. And actually use this as a perfume every single day whenever you're getting up in the morning. A drop to the wrist right here, even behind your ears, so that you get to smell that all throughout the day. You could even use this as a massage oil as well. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're great on time. Okay, so Clary Calm. This, if you want like all over support with your hormones, Clary Calm is where it's at. It is this roller ball. It is a mix of like, oh gosh, there's a ton of essential oils, and a lot of the ones that we're talking about. So ylang ylang is in this, cedar wood, frankincense. Gosh, I can't even think of all the others. But this is going to be perfect for balancing your estrogen levels, helping to manage those PMS symptoms, those monthly symptoms that you get. My body responds so well to this when I'm going through my time of the month that after 3 to 4 hours, I can tell when my body needs it reapplied. My irritability comes back, my cramping usually comes back, all of that. So I respond so well to this. And as far as emotions, this is also going to bring feelings of self-love and confidence and joy. And my gosh, what woman doesn't want that? Even outside of their time of the month, right? So typically what I do is I will apply this to my inner ankle. And I'm just going to pull my foot up here and show you because you may not know exactly what area I'm talking about. But I will see your ankle bone right here that protrudes. I will just draw a little circle around that, use my wrist, and rub that into that area. So I'm getting it on my ankle bone and on my wrist as well. You're welcome for that demonstration. Anyway, so that is what I do typically morning and night. I have this by my bedstand. Before I actually get out of bed, I sit up, do the inner ankle treatment. Before I go to bed, I do the inner ankle treatment. I might take this with me and apply it to my wrist during the day. I'll apply this over my thyroid directly. Sometimes if my cramping is really bad on a particular month, I will apply it directly to my abdomen. But this is fantastic. In fact, one of my customers, it's been probably a year or so now, but her hormones were so messed up that she had not had a regular period in a good 6 to 8 months, like just nothing. She started using Clary Calm a few days before she thought her cycle was supposed to be, and within 2 days, it came, right? So when I'm talking about these oils and how they interact with the body, it's quick, but you do have to be consistent and you have to be intentional with using these essential oils. Every woman is different, every reaction is different, but it's absolutely incredible. Balance is another blend. This is actually my favorite blend for just stress and anxiety in general. Typically, whenever I get stressed, I feel like I have to be doing something all the time. I have this restlessness. Balance is a blend of essential oils. So you see at the bottom here, it's got some blue tansy, some blue chamomile, frankincense. The hoe wood and the spruce are tree oils. So again, you've got that grounding effect. But chemically, these oils, this oil blend chemically tells your body to calm down, to relax, and to chill out. It's fantastic. I will usually apply this to my wrists. I will put it right over my neck area. You can dab a drop behind your ear, again, so you get to smell that all day. Probably the best thing I would suggest with Balance is, again, keep this on your bedside. Before you get out of bed, apply a couple drops to the bottoms of your feet every single morning just to go ahead and start your day out right. This is going to evoke feelings of tranquility, really help relieve mood swings related to anxiety, depression, and just whatever stressor you might be dealing with at the time. And so finally wrapping up, I do want to talk about supplementation. More and more research, I think, like I said in the beginning, is showing that that we need supplements. And this relates to so many things: environmental toxins in the air, our food not being as nutrient dense as it was, our soil not being as nutrient dense as it was either, climate, all of these things. And so supplementing actually helps us. I think before, and myself, I kind of thought this. I thought supplementing was extra. Like, oh, you don't really need it as long as you eat right and you exercise and all the things. It's fine. You don't need supplementation. That's not really true anymore. So what you've got, I wanted to highlight two different options. So first is the daily vitamins. doTERRA's Vitamin Pack Lifelong Vitality. If you have not gotten started with that, if you have not tried that for 30 days, you've really got to. Of course, we see, with the Lifelong Vitality Pack, it helps with certain organs and body systems and things like that. But you also have improved mood management, and it does actually influence hormonal balance and hormonal activity as well. The daily vitamin pack is going to help fill in any gaps that your body has. Maybe it's absorbing nutrients that you're getting from food. Maybe your body has a hard time with that. Maybe it needs help, your body needs help reducing and letting go of toxins within the body. Having a healthy response to stress, getting rid of inflammation that's in the body. The Lifelong Vitality Pack is where it's at. And in a clinical trial, I wanted to share this too. So participants took the Lifelong Vitality Pack for 2 months, didn't change diet, didn't change lifestyle factors. And what the study showed was that after 2 months, these individuals reported increased mental clarity, energy, balance, again, mood management, motivation, things like that. And actually with the testing that the researchers did, they actually showed physically, the cardiovascular system improved. It had positive effects on antioxidant levels, even blood glucose regulation. So that's a big deal. So this is foundational, right? Using oils is great. It's helpful, it's effective. But when you are taking a whole foods vitamin that is filling in these gaps, it's going to help the oils work that much better. On the other side of that, if you want some more specific support, doTERRA has what's called the Women's Health Kit. It's actually pictured here. It includes a phytoestrogen supplement and a bone nutrient supplement. Also includes the Clary Calm blend that I talked about. You can also purchase all of these individually. But this grouping is going to help manage the physical symptoms of menopause, regulate your estrogen levels, actually block estrogen imitators, maybe that we're getting from food or the products that we're using. on our skin and in our hair, things like that. And that bone nutrient complex is actually going to help maintain bone health beginning in adolescence all the way through menopause. So it doesn't matter if you're a teenager. If you are more my age, 30s and 40s, and you're worried about bone health, even if you are, you're older, maybe you're starting to have bone density scans on the regular, you're starting to see these issues come, it's not too late to start taking these supplements. So again, you can purchase these individually. You can go with the Women's Health Kit. I can't remember how much it is off the top of my head, but what I want to really stress, especially with the daily vitamins, is that most of our stress, our hormonal function, our mood management results in the gut. And there is so much research on gut balance and all of that. The daily vitamins is going to help get that gut balance in check. So, highly recommend. So, wanted to share a couple of diffuser blends for you using the essential oils that we talked about today. You can just really experiment, and this is when it gets really fun with oils. The more that your oil collection grows, the more you can experiment. If you don't have some of these oils, just reach out to me. I'll give you some suggestions on what to switch out based on what you have. But try diffusing these at night. Try diffusing some of these maybe during the day when you're feeling stressed at work or at home, when you're getting ready for work in the morning, when you've got a project that you're going on. Again, aromatic is the fastest way to affect that limbic system, to affect the brain, and to initiate a chemical response within the body. And again, you can actually make your own roller bottle blends. Now, these are all based on the 10 ml roller bottle sizes. You can purchase those from doTERRA. They offer a 6-pack of 10 ml roller bottles that you can purchase. You definitely want to be getting your fractionated coconut oil so you can mix with these. All of these. So, you're going to add in your essential oils and then top with your carrier oil and fill the rest of the way. So hopefully that clarifies maybe that question that might be coming up for you. So really, first and foremost, I would recommend that HPA Access blend. All of these blends, both diffuser blends and roller bottle blends, are in this book too. So again, really recommend the book so you can have all of these at your fingertips. But start with this HPA Access blend. Again, you want to go ahead and get this connection strengthened and going so you can really see some change within the body and within the mind. The thing with using essential oils is it's not going to be one size fits all. Your first thing that you try may not work. It may not be as effective, and that's okay. Sometimes it takes a while to find what works for you. Try applying oils at different times during the day. Try applying different areas on the body to see what you respond to best. It is a little bit of a guessing game, but isn't taking medications. Am I right? You're on thyroid. My mother is on thyroid medication. She has to, continually reassess and change because the body needs to change. The body grows tired of that, right? It's the same thing or a similar idea, not the same thing. You know what I mean? So again, if you are ready to get your body back on track, I definitely recommend this book. Again, The Essential Oils Hormone Solutions. Find it on Amazon. You could probably find it at a bookstore too. Amazon's probably cheaper, especially if you've got Prime. Get it to you in 2 days. Have it here by Monday or Tuesday, and you can start to read through this. It's a great read. It's an easy read. The other thing that I love about this book is in the back, it has a section for it's a 14-day rescue meal plan and including recipes. So you've got food recipes that you can really start to just kickstart your hormonal healing. Does that make sense? And use your essential oils and some of the self-care practices that she suggests to get your body back on track. So, talking to those that are new to doTERRA, I know that was a lot of information, but if you are ready to really focus on this area, maybe you had a couple of oils that you kind of starred or checked in your mind, like, ooh, I want that, or gosh, I really need to try that blend, or try those supplements. Here are your purchasing options. So you can purchase retail, full price. You literally save nothing. Most people don't do that. Um, what most people do is actually come in with a wholesale membership. They become a wellness customer, a wholesale customer. This is really just kind of like Costco. You have your $35 membership. You have your membership for a year. You're saving 25% every time you order. If you come in with a starter kit or an enrollment kit, whether it's one of the starter kits that doTERRA provides or a custom kit that you and I put together, that the starter kits that doTERRA offers actually waives the $35 enrollment fee. If you and I were to come together and kind of customize something, you would just tack on that $35 fee, and that is the price. You're not required to order monthly. You don't have to sell or do the business side. It's just for personal use. It's really, really great. You could also come in as a wellness advocate. So it's all of the same benefits as a wholesale customer, but when you start to see real change, you can actually share with friends and family. You can earn an income, whether that's just, I just want to just tell my friends and family what I'm doing, sign them up, enroll them, and get a little bit of commission off of them. Or if you want to be like me and actually build a residual income, whether it's supplementing with your current job or replacing your current income, it's absolutely available, and you and I can talk about that at a later date. But those are your options coming in. I would love to help you out with that. If you are a current customer, so this is a little bit different. I actually want to talk about standard orders versus LRP orders, the Loyalty Rewards Program. So I kind of mentioned just a second ago, you don't have to order monthly, but doTERRA so rewards their customers with this Loyalty Rewards Program. It's a monthly ordering system. I like to call it a monthly wellness box because that's exactly what it is. Products for my overall health and wellness. And I'm earning points back as I am purchasing every single month. Those points translate into dollars, and I get to add in free credit to my account. So I have been able to really grow my collection using the Loyalty Rewards order. So standard orders, so you log into your account, you have, on the right-hand side, your ordering section. Standard orders are just one time. You still get your 25% discount because you have your wholesale membership. You do earn back points, but it's only half of your points in shipping. So if you choose the cheapest shipping option, which is $3.99, you're only getting 2 points back a month, or whenever you're ordering, which is not much. It's not ideal, especially if you're really wanting to make this a lifestyle. With a Loyalty Rewards Program, it's completely optional. It's cancelable at any time. You're going to be getting your 25% discount. You're also going to be receiving anywhere from 10% to 30% of points back on your account. You start out at 10%, you grow up to 30%. I am earning at the 30% range right now. So let's just easy math. I order 100 PV worth of product. I'm getting 30 points back plus my shipping back, so that's 34 points automatically on. That's 34 bucks, y'all. That's like a free Serenity oil. That's some free personal care products like body wash and body butter and a mud mask. All of that is free to me when I get those points. You can get additional discounts. You're eligible for getting the free product of the month. You get all of your shipping back in points. You qualify to receive some income if you choose to do that. So if that's something that you are wanting to set up, over on this right-hand side, you log into your account. You say, I want to create an LRP template. You pick your shipping date, you pick your products, and you earn your points. And it's that simple. And also, just to kind of wrap up here, I think it's almost, yeah, just got a couple more minutes before our hour is up. If this is something that you feel like you really need help with, um, and that is okay if you do, hormonal support and just the journey to get to just better stress management and hormonal management, it's going to take time. It's not going to be a one size again fits all thing. Consider my 90 days to oily living program. I have several people that are going through that have gone through that. Had a lot of great feedback, and I am so excited to continue to offer this. This is just personal one-on-one support. You get weekly educational videos from me, by me, so you get to see my face through your email. I also provide a monthly calendar for these 3 months. And it's going to basically just give you some oil tips and suggestions to use every single thing that you purchase and use during this time. Really, my two goals for this, that by the end of 90 days, you have a oil lifestyle that you are confident in, that you have been able to see some, have some experiences, have some testimonies from, see some real change, and that you use every single product at least once during that 90 days. Upon completion, you get some amazing prizes like a 10-hour diffuser. It could be a really fun oil bag to kind of help keep your collection all in one place. It could be some free oils, maybe one that you kind of want to treat yourself to. It's totally up to you. But this is where you're going to get that one-on-one support. This is what I am here for. I am here to show up for you, to help you create real change in a really significant area of your life. And just wanted to end here what some people are saying about 90 Days to Oily Living. Again, this is where I personally like to thrive with that one-on-one support. I love teaching classes. I love sharing about oils, but I really love that one-on-one support. So this is also a great way to test out the Loyalty Rewards program. At the end of the 90 days, you can choose to stay in it. You can choose to cancel it and get out of it. We'll make sure that you use your points. But it's really a great way to test this out and see what ordering through this program is like for current customers. So I am going to stop my share. I hope this has been helpful for you today. Please message me if you have any questions about what I covered, if you're ready to start your 90 Days to Oily Living journey. If you have any questions for me. Hope you have a great Saturday, and thanks for watching.